The first UFC pay-per-view of 2025 is in the books, with UFC 311 seeing both champions who entered the event as title holders exit them in the very same fashion. In the main event, Islam Makhachev submits Renato Moicano in the first round with a Darce choke. Of course, Moicano not supposed to be the original opponent on this card, gets elevated into the main event spot after Arman Tsarukyan pulls out with a back injury on weigh-in day. He was a massive underdog, and Makhachev handled him as such, getting the fight to the ground, locking in that submission, and recording his new record, fourth consecutive lightweight title defense, separates himself from the pack of all the great champions in the history of this weight class, and now Makhachev stands alone as, in my opinion, the best lightweight we've ever seen. In Dana White's opinion, the new pound-for-pound number one over John Jones, even though the UFC rankings and myself already had him as such, and now 15 consecutive octagon victories for Makhachev. He is just one shy of tying Anderson Silva's all-time UFC winning streak record, which is absolutely remarkable. We will see if he can get over the hump, and it's very interesting to see how this whole thing is going to unfold for Makhachev. He is very clearly willing to fight all comers at any time. He hinted that he wants to move up to welterweight and capture that second belt at some point in his career, but I think for now he does stay at lightweight. I don't think we're getting that crazy jump to middleweight against Dricus du Plessis that he mentioned. I think right now he's going to continue to do his thing, see what happens with Bilal Muhammad and Shavkat Rakhmonov, and then kind of make a decision about what makes sense from there. But I do think we get one more title defense before that happens, and as Dana White notes, is not going to be the rebooking against Tsarukyan. In my mind, more likely it's going to be a rematch against Charles Oliveira, and I think that's the way this division ends up going. Maybe we see that Tsarukyan fight happen again at some point, but it's going to be a few rematches here for Makhachev, which I know is not his favorite thing, but until a new contender really emerges, a fresh contender in this weight class, this is kind of what it's going to be, and he's going to continue to try to rack up all these title defenses, see how high he can get this winning streak, get this title defense mark, and then maybe at some point an opportunity to change weight classes does pop up for Makhachev. But as far as the co-main event, Merab Dvalishvili pulls off a pretty significant title defense upset over the undefeated Umar Nurmagomedov, a thrilling fight of the night, and he wins a unanimous decision to score his first defense after taking that title from Sean O'Malley in September, and all signs pointing to a rematch happening in this weight class as well. O'Malley was cage side for the fight, and I think they go back to that fight again. Dvalishvili pretty much had his way with Sean last time. I don't know what big changes O'Malley is able to make in whatever time between now and when that fight happens, but it's going to be an uphill climb. Dvalishvili looking essentially unstoppable in this weight class right now. He has a 12-fight winning streak in the UFC, 11 in a row at bantamweight, and just a dominant force. This was a very big statement performance, especially given the quick turnaround, doing it under pressure, and seemingly coming in with some pretty significant injuries. So Dvalishvili and Makhachev both looking somewhat unbeatable in their respective weight classes coming out of UFC 311, but the sport goes forward. There will be new challengers, there will be rematches, and definitely seems like rematches as of now for both of these guys next. So big time wins from both Makhachev and Dvalishvili at UFC 311. They are and still champions.